I'm going to show you how I made these cutout drawer pulls. They don't have to look exactly like this, they can be any shape you want. We're going to make a simple jig, and you'll need a flush trim router bit, a jigsaw, a router, and a piece of flat scrap wood that's a little bigger than the drawer faces you want to work on. I'd also recommend having a toggle clamp. It's optional, but it's cheap, useful for lots of different projects, and it makes the jig much easier to use. The first thing I'm going to do is draw a full-scale representation of the drawer pull I want to cut on a piece of paper. This is really just for my own visualization so I can see how the cutout is going to look in real life. I'm going with a shape like this. I want it to be symmetrical, but you can draw any shape you want. It could even be curved. Now I'm just going to hold the paper up against my drawer front so I can imagine how the size and proportions are going to look and see if I like it. This is mainly just for experimentation. You could skip this step and draw the design directly onto the jig, which is what we're going to do next. To make the jig, you'll need a flat piece of scrap wood that's a little wider than the drawer faces you're going to work on. The exact dimensions aren't important, but as we go along, you'll see about how much extra space you need around the drawer front. The jig also needs to be either square or rectangular. In other words, it needs to have straight edges and 90-degree corners on all four sides. The first thing I'm going to do is find and mark the center of the board. This is important because everything else is going to be based on this point. I'll measure the width of the board, divide it by 2, and mark the center. Then I'll check the measurement from both sides just to make sure it's accurate. Now I'm going to draw the drawer pull cutout based on the design I made earlier, centered around that mark. For example, if you want your drawer pull to be 5 inches wide, you'd measure 2.5 inches out from each side of the center mark. This is also the point where you can draw any design you like, a curve, something asymmetrical, whatever you want. Next, I'm going to cut out the drawer pull opening in the jig. I'll carefully use a Forstner bit to drill the corner areas. This gives me perfectly round corners on each side. If you want more square corners, you can skip the Forstner bit and just cut the whole thing with a jigsaw. These holes also give me a great place to start the jigsaw cut. You need to make this cut carefully because this is the one that counts. Whatever shape you cut here is going to be copied onto all of your drawer fronts. I make sure to preserve the rounded corners left by the drill bit. I'm just going to clean everything up with a little sandpaper. Next, I need to get my drawer face perfectly centered on the jig. There are a few different ways you could do this. What I chose to do was measure the difference between the width of the jig and the width of the drawer face, which was 4 centimeters. I divided that by 2 and cut 2 spacer blocks that were each 2 centimeters wide. When I aligned them with the edges of the jig, the remaining space was exactly the width of my drawer front, so it automatically centered it. Another option would be to mark the center of your drawer front, line it up with the center mark on the jig, and then screw the guides down on either side. The advantage of using guides is that once they're installed, you can quickly position multiple drawer fronts without measuring the center every time. Now we're going to install the toggle clamp. This keeps the drawer front from moving while we're working on it. I'm going to put a small block of wood underneath the toggle clamp that's roughly the same thickness as the drawer front. The clamp has some adjustment, so it doesn't have to be exactly the same thickness. Then I'll adjust the clamp so it holds the drawer front securely. If you don't have a toggle clamp, you could simply screw down another small piece of scrap wood to hold the third side. The benefit of the toggle clamp is that it makes the jig much faster and easier to use if you're cutting a lot of drawer fronts. Now the jig is ready to go. I'll insert the drawer front and double check that everything is aligned, making sure the edge of the drawer front is perfectly flush with the edge of the jig. This is also a good time to make sure the drawer front is oriented the way you want it, because now we're going to trace the cutout. Once the drawer front is secured, I'll flip the jig over and trace the opening using the jig as a template. Next, we'll remove the drawer front and roughly cut out the opening with a jigsaw, staying a little outside the line. Don't cut right up to it, the final cut will be made with the router. Now we'll put the drawer front back into the jig, making sure it's in the same orientation as before. I'm using a flush trim router bit. If you've never used one before, it's a really handy tool. The bearing rides against the jig while the cutter copies that exact shape into the drawer front. I'll adjust the depth so the bearing rides against the jig while the cutting edges make full contact with the drawer front. I would recommend clamping the jig to your workbench as well. It's one less thing to worry about, so you can focus on making a clean cut. Now the shape has been perfectly copied onto the drawer front. Next, I'm going to use a chamfer bit to cut a 45-degree chamfer around all of the edges. I'm going to use the jig for this too. I'll simply flip the toggle clamp around so I can use the other side of the jig, and the clamp will hold the drawer front while I cut the chamfer. It makes it quick and easy to rotate and flip the piece as I work. might think that once you've made this jig, it only works for one size of drawer, but you can actually use it for different sizes as long as the drawer fronts are still smaller than the jig. For this second project, the drawers are a little narrower, so I'm going to remove the guide pieces. Next, I'll measure the width of the new drawer face and divide that number by 2. In my case, that's 20.8 centimeters. I'll measure out from the center mark on the jig that we made earlier and mark where the new guides need to go. This looks a little weird because I'm not starting from 0. The only reason I did it this way was because it made the tape measure easier to hold flat on the board. I'm measuring from the 30 centimeter mark and adding 20.8 centimeters. You don't have to do it this way. It was just easier in this situation. You'll see when I double check the measurement that the mark is exactly at 20.8 centimeters. To get a tight fit, I'll install the first guide, place the drawer front into the jig, and then install the second guide while keeping the drawer front aligned with the edge of the jig. Now I'll just follow the same process as before. When I went to cut the second drawer, I found that it was just a hair smaller than the first one, so it wiggled around a little. I can't have the piece moving at all while I'm cutting. Rather than removing the guides and resetting them, I'm just going to use a few playing cards as shims along the edges. As long as you use the same number of cards on both sides, the drawer front will stay perfectly centered. Now the drawer front is shimmed, held securely, and ready to cut. Thanks for watching the video. Check out my channel if you'd like to see how I built this tool cart and this nightstand. Leave a comment if you have any questions, and consider subscribing if you'd like to help support the channel.